Mr. Darian,
My dog. How
how
you
we
doing,
doing,
Jonathan?
sir?
I'm good, man. Trying to get the technology working over here.
It's all good. It's all good. Want to make sure I'm recording. I am recording. Okay.
Yep.
So, I don't know how I want to do this. Maybe I'll do a little bit of an intro since this
Yeah.
is all up on YouTube. All right, guys, I'm Jonathan. You already know what it is. This is Darian. All right. So my goal is to make I've already helped a number of people open their own gyms. Darian is one of them. Darian, why don't you give them like a little 45-second explanation as to where you started, where you are now, and then we'll just go into our consult.
Yeah. Sounds good. So back in 2018, I believe, I was looking on YouTube for like ways to market as a personal trainer. I was working at a 9 to 5 at a bank, and I had previously been a trainer in the past, but I kind of gave it up and I was debating, should I renew my personal training certification? And I came across your video on all the NASM stuff and how you started talking about, how to make $100,000 a year as a trainer. And I was like, let me see what he's got to say. And it was good information. It made sense. It was very logical. And I was like, I've never heard this before. It was never taught to me when I first got certified for NASM.
Mm.
So I signed up for the program. I think it was like $97 at the time, which
Yep.
was a steal. And
Yep.
I went through that whole thing and I just started implementing it right away. I remember I emailed you and I was like, hey man, I really want to do this thing. I don't know how to get started. And I just jumped into it. I started with a 5:30 a.m. boot camp, started out with nobody, and then started one person, two person, three people. Fast forward, man, I was able to quit my job, do it full time, and we made it through COVID. We made it through all the gym shutdowns, and every year it's just been getting better. I started out probably like $30,000 a year, $50,000 a year. Now we're well over $100,000 a year.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. And
Yeah,
so,
man.
just to give some quick backstory stuff. So Darren started off at like a gym basement. Then he got a sublease at, where was your first sublease? It was
So
at
the
the
first
church?
So I originally was at a public gym. I just
Yeah,
kind of rented the downstairs area,
yeah,
and then I subleased out of a church,
right,
and then I got my own commercial space for the first time,
right.
and then
That,
now we got a big old warehouse.
yeah. So you went sublease, sublease, retail space, and now
Retail space.
yeah, the one thing is I've kind of gotten away from doing the whole $100,000 a year thing because too many people think that it's easy. And like you're 6 years in, you know what I mean? So it's possible, but I try to be as realistic with people as possible. Like if you think you're going to wake up one day and then just all of a sudden you get some good information, it's just going to automatically turn. It's just not going to happen. You
Right,
know?
right.
So it's about, getting people that want to get in this, stay in this, and be successful. So you're already there. You're proof of, that sometimes my advice works. And now, I don't do the course anymore, but now we have the Skool platform, which is essentially going to house the courses that I used to offer in an updated version. But I think the main
Nice.
reason why more people don't see success is because they don't have the accountability. Like they just had the course and they never got a chance to speak to me. Like, we spoke a little bit more than some of my students, but now we're going to be able
Sure.
to commune a little bit more often. So one of the things we're going to do with Skool is the top contributor every month, I'll do a free consultation, like a one-on-one Zoom consultation, and nobody's contributed more to, the community than you have. So even before I hit my first month, I think it's good to kick it off with you. So why don't you tell me where you are with your gym, what you're trying to accomplish? Is there a next level? What's up with you?
Yeah. So for me, I feel so the first year or two was just kind of getting my feet under me, trying to figure out how this whole thing worked. And then the whole COVID thing happened. We switched to online.
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, is in person going to be a thing or is it going to be going online? And then things sort of went back to normal, went back to training in person. I did it all myself, owner operator, right? I was doing the marketing, doing the training, doing the consultations. I did it all. I was the janitor and the finance guy, right? I had to do it all.
That's what it is in the beginning. Yeah.
And then I had my daughter and things changed, because in the beginning I was, mid 20s. I just had like a girlfriend at the time. I didn't have a family like that, right? And then when it came to my daughter being born, I was like, dang, man, like so much of my time, my energy went into being a dad, and it still does. So I started thinking like, okay, well, what's the next step for this? Am I just gonna just be training all the time and always being away from my family, or how can I find a way to scale this without me needing to constantly be there?
Right.
And that's when I started looking at like, okay, well, what about maybe getting other trainers on board and training them and opening up more classes? So that's where I'm at now. I have my first trainer. I hired my first trainer, and she's doing an awesome job. And I just want to find a way to scale that and just continue going that direction, because I don't know how much more I can take on personally, just with time in the day, but I want to be able to delegate and be able to have other people that can fill in and can run classes on my behalf, or that can be part of the DFF Bootcamp brand and continue to build it maybe to a second location, but at least maximize what we're doing now with all the space we have and all the new equipment. We've invested tons of money into equipment after the buying the gym thing fell through. So yeah.
Okay. Can I give you some of my opinions on the matter?
Yeah.
Now, this is just my own personal thing. After having this location, I have zero inclination to have a second space. Like, I always built this brand to be very like marketable, to to be something that you could sell, to somebody else. But there are a number of ways to grow your business. One of which is to go the Chick-fil-A model, where you own all of the locations, you pay for them all. The other one is to go the licensing model, which is the CrossFit model, and that's essentially like you sell them your shit, like you sell them your logo, and you get access to all of our systems, but you kind of like do things on your own, and I can't control you. And then the third way is going to be franchising, which is the F45 model, and that's where they buy into your franchise, they pay you a certain amount for, and I take a step back. The licensing, they pay you a flat fee, and then they just do whatever they want with your stuff. And then the franchising model, you're getting either a fixed cost monthly or yearly, and then it's based on revenue sometimes, but they have to strictly adhere to your systems. All right. So I don't want to do any of that, to be honest with you, because how big is your space? Like, how big is the warehouse? It looks like at least 4,000 square feet.
Probably about 3,500 square feet.
Okay, so 4,000 square feet. And how much did it cost all in to outfit it?
Outfit it?
Yeah, the equipment and all that stuff.
Probably close to like $100,000.
Yeah. Okay. So, and how long did it take before you felt like you were, all right, I got everything I need inside of this gym?
Probably so after I invested the 100,000, that's when we got like all the good shit, Then I was like, we got everything. Now it's like,
you got steppers and squat racks and hack squats.
Yeah, we got hack squats, leg press machines, multiple stairmasters, rowers, big squat racks, cable machines. So it grew from just having dumbbells and bands and jump ropes and the cones,
Okay, so how much of your energy is required to keep that place going?
What do you mean?
Like how much of the finance and the, just client management, community management, how much of that rests on your shoulders?
All of it, pretty much. Yeah. So I do everything so far. I just have my trainer running the 9 a.m. class, so that I'm just doing the 5:30 in the morning, take care of my daughter during the day, and then 6:30 p.m. at night. Then I set up for class the next day. And it's been kind of like that. And I'm like, okay, I want to start finding ways to make it more profitable, bring more people on, and make it something where, like you said, one day it's sellable, or it's something where I don't have to train until I'm 80. You know what I mean? Where other people can be on board and run it, and maybe I can travel sometimes, or maybe I can live in a different city and I'm not boxed into Rio Vista for life. You know what I mean? As my daughter gets older, maybe we want to move as a family. But then if we move, it's like starting DFF Bootcamp over again in another town. I already know what that's like. So I'm like, if I can start training people now and to be able to run it if I did move in the future, because for a long time I had this feeling that I was way more needed than I actually am, right? I had this fear of like, okay, like I'm gonna bring this trainer on, everyone's gonna hate them because they're only there for me and they're all gonna quit. Well, it didn't happen. Like all these people love the trainer, and I'm like, wow, a lot of this stuff can be delegated. It doesn't need to always be just me there, you know?
It's actually to your benefit to not be there all the time. It brings a different, even if the workouts are the same, I found, because we have a staff of like 8 or 9 trainers, just having different personalities, just a different like talking cadence, different music preferences, create the variety that keeps people coming. And you can't be all things to everyone. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
It's just so it's so funny that your trainer is Nicole. The first trainer that I hired, her name was Nicole as well.
That's crazy.
So like it works and it frees you up to do other things. All right.
Yes.
So here's
the like creative too.
Immediately what you're telling me. So I say all that to say you're nowhere near opening up a second location because you haven't even maximized your current location with 3 classes. And the amount of work that having the second location, everything that you're doing for this one location, until you've found a way to replicate yourself, and that's hard because you got to be full on in. Like, at least with me, it's a 24-hour job. You know what I mean? You got to find somebody that's capable to do it, and then you got to compensate them to do it while you're growing a new location from zero. So unless you have a situation where, like, I saw a post, I think Jim launched a post on YouTube, and I really appreciate that. Unless you could walk away for 6 months and know that your gym is going to continue to grow, a second location is like, should not even happen. And you're not there because you haven't even fully packed out your schedule. So the question I guess I would ask is, what's stopping you from, the first question I'll ask is, are you pretty much maxed out at your current classes, the 5:30, the 9, and the 6:30? Are you maxed out there? Attendance wise?
Most of the year, yes.
Okay. Well, then that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You're maxed out attendance wise. So then what would stop you from having a 4th class?
That's exactly where my mind is going. Like, even my trainer is like, hey, I'm down to do more classes. Like, I want more opportunity. I'm down to do it. I love 9 a.m. Maybe we could do a 4:30. And I in my head, I'm like, I really want to talk to Jonathan because you've been doing this for a while. And I see that you have multiple trainers and you got the experience. And my biggest fear was like making an error as a leader, in terms of like, and some of the questions I wrote down today are around this. Like, I saw your post on Instagram and I was like, bro, I got like 8 classes in a day. I was like, and I'm only doing 3. And I'm like, I want to build up to that, you know?
I'll tell you something. Sometimes I look at your schedule. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, why does he not have in a space that large? And the rent is so reasonable. Like, one of the reasons why I had to have so many classes because my rent is so much more than yours. You know what I mean? Given my location.
Sure.
I was like, what is stopping this man from having at least 5 classes? You know what I mean? So, yeah, what was it? What kind of error could you possibly make by adding more classes?
Okay, so here's the thing. So initially, when people started wanting more classes, there wasn't any new people. It was like the same people that are in the current classes that are just kind of spreading out and going to more classes. Right. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to be paying another trainer, or I'm going to be putting more work in myself to make the same amount of money, essentially. So I started putting out feelers on Instagram or on Facebook. I was like, hey guys, do you have a boot camp thinking about opening up another class? What time would you guys want? And then everyone unanimously, the biggest vote was like 9 a.m. And then I set an arbitrary number, like, all right, we need 10 new people to start the class. Because, I was trying to think of, how is this going to make sense business-wise? Because one, I have to pay the trainer. And then there has to be some sort of a profit to have more classes, more work, right? Instead of just like 5 classes, still making the same amount of money as I did when I had 3 classes.
Question for you. How many days a week do you have your classes?
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days a
4 days a
week.
week.
And then we also give our clients a 24/7 gym membership. So everyone gets a code, they come in and they basically get the same thing they would get at another gym locally as an added bonus.
That's not something personally I would do.
I know. I know you wouldn't do
Yeah.
that.
I
I
mean,
got cameras all up in there.
yeah,
Small
no,
town.
I mean, I have cameras too. It's just that once you start to you know what? I personally wouldn't do that. You don't know until you try. But essentially, I think you were a little bit too careful. Can I ask how much you pay your trainer per hour or per class?
Yes, yeah. And I want your input on that because I never really got a chance to talk to you about that. So I put it off for a long time and I was like, fuck it, I just need to do it.
Yeah.
So initially she wanted 250 or she wanted 450, right? But she's a current client that we elevated to a trainer.
What do you mean
Right?
450?
$450 for the month.
Okay.
Okay. So
You know
then
what, per class or per hour?
that's what I'm saying. I didn't know how to do it because I've never done it before. I've never had to pay an employee. So I was like, all right, I'll pay you 450 a month. Because I asked her, what sounds reasonable to you? And I tried to do the math in my head.
You don't
And
do
she said,
that. You don't do that. You
that's
just
what
got
I'm saying. I don't know. I didn't know. I
Yeah,
didn't
but
know.
everybody gets paid hourly or per class. So, but you know what? Honestly, even with that rate, you're right in line with what you should be paying her because essentially, like, there are 4.3 weeks in a month, right? So,
Yeah. She's doing 2, 4, 8. She's about 16 to 20 classes a month.
okay, so 450 divided by 20 is about 20. Honestly, you're winning. Like, so I read the Gym Launch book and they were talking about how much you should spend on staff. And they were like, you can find a great, trainer for like $15 an hour and they'll pay you and they'll take it. And the truth is like, if you went to a Crunch gym, I don't know if they have Crunch gyms out in California. By the way, guys, I'm in New Jersey. He's in California.
Yeah.
But like the Crunch gyms in this area, they pay their trainers like $15 to $18 an hour. I was like, I would never. So honestly, you're at the 22.50 per, I mean, per class. I don't know if she gets in early and leaves late, but let's just say if in case she stays a little bit longer than 1 hour and then she breaks it down to an hourly rate, she's at 25 an hour, which is what I started my trainers at anyway, right?
Okay.
So essentially 25 an hour times 25 an hour times, so she's going to be teaching, well, that would be one extra class a week, right? So then really all you have to do is figure out how much you are going to have to pay her to teach one extra class a day. So what you would want her to do, like, let's say you wanted to do a 5:30 p.m. class, right?
Right.
So now
It's like, then am I paying her double? Am I paying her $900 essentially for
okay,
that
let's just
extra
take the
class?
450. Let's just take the 450. So essentially she's making 450 for each class time, right? So realistically, all you need is 3 people to join the class, and then you're at least breaking even.
Yes, exactly. That's how I was looking at it. I was like, well, it's basically 2 heads, 2 clients, pays my trainer, and whatever's extra is profit for the business and whatever else, right?
So why'd you wait for 10?
I don't know, man. Well, because I don't know. So I think in my mind, when I started the 5:30, we had like 12 people. And when we started the 6:30 p.m., we got 10 people to start that class.
Yeah.
When we did the 9 a.m., we had 12 people. So I had this kind of like arbitrary thing in my community where I was like, hey, we're looking for 10 people that want to start at this time for a boot camp. So when I was thinking of running another class, that's just kind of how I did it.
Yeah.
But what started to happen previously, remember I talked about opening up at 9 a.m. a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
And I started it. Well, it was popping for like a month or two. And then everybody dropped off, and then it just went back to the previous numbers in terms of profits and stuff. But now it's just more classes and more work.
Which 2 months? Like, why do you think it fell off?
Dude, I have no. So remember I told you there was another boot camp. There's another one in town too. A lot of them were like friends with her, so they kind of felt bad. They started going to her thing. But for some reason during that time, I just didn't have people interested in the 9 a.m. like that. It was just people that were going to 5:30 and 6:30 that didn't really like those times, that just kind of funneled into 9 a.m. So we just had 3 smaller classes instead of packed out, larger classes. It'd be like 7 people per class. some days, or like 5.
Right.
And I was like, I'm like, it's not making sense financially. And at this time, my daughter was like 1 and 2. So it was requiring a lot of my effort
So it made sense.
outside. So I was just drained. But now it's like I'm invigorated. My daughter's older. But I want to give my trainer more opportunity. And that's why I wanted to ask you. I was like, okay, so how do you know what times you should open up, when it's a good idea to open up? Like, what is your process? Like, do you do a poll initially and ask people what times they want, or do you just open them up and you're like, I'll take a loss for a couple months and just get people in?
Okay, so I'm very chaotic. I don't care. I'll just run myself into a wall and then bounce off the other end and then bounce off the other end and go like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, well, this is the path. So
You just trying stuff.
yeah, the only thing I knew that it made sense to have a post drop off class. This is in year 1 when I started off with a 5:30 a.m. class.
Yeah.
And I didn't have an opportunity for a 6:30 class because I only had mornings. So I knew I wanted a post school drop off class. I just didn't know if it was supposed to be 8:39 or 9:30. So I took
Sure.
a poll for that. All right. And then
Yeah.
it kind of took off. I don't remember how it started, but probably started small.
Yeah.
And it picked up. The thing about that 9 o'clock hour, all you need to do is get one epicenter. You know what I mean? Because they're all school moms.
Yes.
And they get all of their friends. The only problem is the trainer that owned that gym, she was the epicenter for a lot of people that you had at the time. So it just happened. But going forward, so I had the 5:30 class in the morning, and then I had the 9 a.m. class. And I was like, you know what? I'm sure people want to work out at 6 o'clock hour because back when I used to work at Signature, there were people like my 6:30 book was filled. All right. So
AM. AM
AM.
in the
Yeah.
morning.
So I went 5:30 and then I was like, okay, I need time for the parking lot to clear. I need to, I need downtime in between class at 5:30, 6:45. There were
Wow.
2 people at my 6:45 class for literally like a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever. It didn't make a difference. Like I just ran it because number one, I had a copious amount of time. I didn't have the daughter at the time, so I couldn't completely understand that.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like you need to exist for a while before people can find you. You know what I mean? So I was perfectly fine with the 2 people that came to the 6:45. One, I remember, was a 5 a.m. person that just didn't want to, get up that early. And another one was an old personal training client who didn't last that long anyway. How it grew, I can't even remember. All I know is that once I had it up on my website, eventually people were like, oh, there is a 6-something class. I'm sure there are people that have gone to your website, looked at your schedule, and they were looking for a 6 a.m. type class. But since they since you didn't have it, they walked away and they never turned back around. You know what I mean?
So yeah.
Yeah. So it takes time for it to exist. The one thing I will tell you is that if you're trying to get people pre-work, having a 5:30 class is kind of perfect for a lot of people, but doesn't allow room on the outside of it. So if you're doing a 5:30, you either have to make it a 45-minute class. How long are your classes?
An hour.
Okay, so they're gonna get at 6:30. Either like you got to get them out at 5:55. Hopefully your lot is big enough and you can get them the fuck out. And then you have kids around. Is cursing a problem?
You're good, man. You're good.
And then
My daughter's a G.
you get the 6:30 people in as quickly as possible, and then they got to leave at 7:30. 7:30 is too late for some people. So if you're trying to get that 6 o'clock hour, you may have to entertain the idea of moving your 5 a.m. to 5:15, which is what I did. I moved my 5 a.m. to 5:15, and then I found that it was still an issue, and then my 5:15 moved to 5 a.m. I moved my 5:30 to 5:15, and my 5:15 went to 5 a.m. And the 5 a.m. is jammed every day. So my second class is 6:15 a.m. and that allows people to get in and out. And some people still have, like, it works for them, but some of them still have to leave at like 6:10, 6:05 just so they can get to work. So you're really just you're working around the people that the work schedules.
Yes.
It doesn't hurt, however, to test it and ask. You just have to understand there's going to be a little bit of resistance, like, oh, I'm just used to 5:30. But you might find that some people are like, you know what, I really wanted that extra half hour or sleep, or I want that extra half hour after class to kind of do my own thing.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's all risk. But the upside of having a class that eventually grows is so worth it that it doesn't hurt to at least try. All right. So then when I got here, I knew that 5 a.m. and I knew that 6:15 a.m. were going to go bananas. I already knew that from my experience.
Yeah. The morning.
Like, why not 7:30? I know that you have to be a special kind of person to come to 7:30. You need to have a a work from home schedule. You need to have older kids, or you need to be retired. Like
Yeah.
it's very, very different crowd. So
That's everyone at my 9 a.m. Yeah.
yeah, I went through the same thing. I did the 7:30, and for a while it was 2 people, 3 people. But I knew based on my numbers, if I have 4 people, I'm basically breaking even. The only thing that it's costing me is time. Now with you, you're actually going to have to pay somebody to do it if you choose not to do it yourself. So you have to just be okay with saying, all right, I'm willing to try it for X amount of time. Now, summertime is not the time to do it. So like
Okay.
if you were going to give it a shot, then maybe you do it in September, which is a very hot time, or you do it in January. Like doing it in June is you're just asking for trouble. At least
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah, at least for the summertime, that'll give you an opportunity to present the idea to your members. All
Right.
right. Or going onto your website and then putting that information there so that starting in September, we're going to have this is going to be our like this is our current schedule starting in September or January, whatever you choose to do. After you run it by your members, this is going to be our new schedule. And then you see how many bites you get. But with me, I always knew that no matter what, I was going to have 8 classes. I just did it slowly. I knew that the 5 a.m. and the 6:15 was going to work. My first class when I got here were 5 a.m., 6:15 a.m., 9 a.m. for sure. And then I had 4:15, 5:30, 6:45. I knew that was going to happen.
Those evening ones are the ones that I'm getting a lot of people asking about. They're like, dude, can you get like a 4:15, like a 5 or a 9? And I'm just like,
9
I
p.m.
can't do that personally.
9
But
p.m. No way.
I'm like, it's crazy.
No way. No way. It helps if you look at, established franchises. There's a reason why Orange Theory does not open that late. Most CrossFits have their last class at 7:30.
Okay.
F45s don't have it that late. Yeah, they want it, but like number one, it's going to be very hard to staff because like if you hire somebody with kids come first, family comes first. They can't be getting home at 10 past 10.
Yeah. And then having to set up class after that for the next day or whatever.
Yeah, like we do our setups at night. So like now they got to stay here till 10. And what if I have the same trainer, teaching one night and then the next morning? I can't have them turn over from 10 to get here by 4:45. So
Yeah.
but that 5 o'clock hour for some people is big. The 4 o'clock hour, again, that took me a while to build up, but that's teacher central. If you have
all the teachers are asking about that. Yeah.
are you kidding me? That's teacher central. That's nurse central. Like that's where they want to go. Otherwise they're getting out of school at 3. They got nothing to do.
Yes.
Again, summertime isn't the best time because they're going to be on summer vacations. They're probably going to be looking for a lot of my teachers now are going to end up coming to 9 a.m. or actually my noon class, which was the last one for me to implement. But again, eventually it all worked out because the system is good and eventually people find you. You know what I mean? So that's something you should really consider for September. And then you can just play, like you do like a one-time class in June at noon, just see what happens. Because if people are coming 24 hours, they might want guidance, instead of having the 24/7 access. Right. And then you can keep the 24/7 access. So how late is the 24 access extend to? When does it stop? Wait a minute.
What do you mean?
That's a stupid question. Wait a minute. 24/7, they can come at 3 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of clients of mine, if they like miss a day, they can't come in, or if their work schedule changed, they're doing these crazy shifts and they can't make it to the designated times. They just have a code to the gym that I give them, and every month I change the code. So only the people who are, still paying clients have access to the code for that month to be able to even get in.
And they can come at any time they want, as long as it's outside of your class times.
Exactly. Yeah. As long as it's outside of my class times, they already have the house cleaning rules. Like if you come in, you're going to vacuum, you're going to make sure it's cleaned up, put things back where they were. So it doesn't look like, you can't come in and trash the gym. The camera's going to be watching you. I can see you from my phone. Don't do any stupid stuff. And it's been good for a year. I've had no problems.
If it's working for you, fine. That I think would be very hard to scale. It's going to be very hard to scale and maintain that because you get enough people, eventually you're going to get an asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The only reason I did it was I was trying to think of ways to start injecting more value into what we do. Because even to me, I'm like, dude, I charge $200 a month for boot camp, right? And this was back in 2018. You know how expensive things are now? I've never raised my rates on anybody. So now it's like, what $125 a month was back then,
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, instead of raising the rates, let me try to make it more valuable. So people are like, damn, this is just a straight steal. I'm not going to get this anywhere. I'm getting the nutrition, the training. I get a gym membership on top of it, etc. Right? So that was
are you
my
able to
thought process with that.
hold on one second. Are you able to see and hear me still?
Yeah, 100%. You're clear.
I just cannot see you for a little bit because we're running out of time, and I'm just going to see if I can just upgrade right here so that we
Okay.
can keep going for as long as you need. But I get it, but you know that $200 a month is not, that's actually very competitive now. I don't know how it is out in California, but in terms of the rates around here, that's a very competitive rate for a boot camp, for a micro gym. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So I don't think you should feel so bad about that. Do you get a lot of crap about prices?
Um, Not as much now. Sometimes, but those are just people who probably weren't going to spend that kind of money anyway. That, you know, a $50 gym membership they were complaining about. But just as a trainer, I was like, how, okay, going into the new year, how can we make it better? So it's not the same thing that it's been, you know, because I'm always trying to grow. I'm always trying to make things better, get you guys better equipment, um, more stuff for the dollar you're spending. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I've been trying to do. And then now, and one last thing on the trainer thing, yo, it's crazy how you said sometimes you just got to let it go, like let it manifest itself or just see what happens. Because back in October of last year was when we started the 9 a.m. and there was like 8 people. Dude, now my trainer just texted me, there was 28 people this
9
morning.
a.m. 9 a.m. That's a golden class time.
Yeah. It was bigger than my class. I'm like, dude, and she does a phenomenal job. She's got great work ethic. And I'll tell you, man, nothing feels better than training somebody who's excited and wants to like be a good trainer and like believes in the program and being able to like market them and hype them up and teach them and train them and
Where'd you
then
find
see
her?
them go out there and get better, you know?
Where'd you find her?
So she was a client for 4 years.
That's the best way to start. Nicole was a client of mine for like 6 years. Stephanie was a client for around 6 years as well. That's the best way
Yeah,
to
so
start.
he knew the program in and out. And it was
Yeah.
like, okay, now let me just brush you up on, you know, little stuff like make sure you're speaking loudly, make sure you're acknowledging everybody, high fives, things like showing her modifications, how to do those things. And she's killing it, man. She's doing a great job. And
Yeah.
she's like, I'm down to do another class. Like, I'll do more. And I was just like, okay, you know, I just got to make sure it makes sense in terms of if we open up a new class, because I'm going to have to pay you for that class, that there's going to be enough people. But hearing what you're saying, you're like, look, man, it's 2 extra people. Just stick around for a little bit, give yourself a certain amount of time, and see if it pops off.
Yeah. I mean, and like if you can handle the $450 a month for what, a couple months, again, you wait till September, you don't do it now. Like it's
Yeah.
worth, you know, first of all, you're probably not going to lose 450 because
Exactly. It's probably going to break even, if anything. I've never lost. It's always been like a break even situation. I'm
yeah,
just like, I'm just business wise. I'm just like, I just want to maximize profits, you know?
about
Because
28 people in a class.
yeah,
20.
yeah, 28, yeah,
Do you have a max class size?
no. No, I think the most we've ever had is like 30, 33, and
Mhm.
like at one time, but the gym is huge. Like it's really big. We have a second story, like a second floor, and then we
Yeah.
can also open up the warehouse door and there's the outside area too. So we can just kind of combine everything.
You know what? Yeah. If it's working for you, if you can fit that many people, hats off to you because I cut off at 24 and I have to turn people away when they start to
Yeah.
ask me to be in class. Um,
Some clients get uncomfortable though. When there's that many people, they get kind of turned off with how many. And as a trainer, I can't really provide a great service to 28 people all at the same time, you know? Like at a certain point, you kind of need like 2 trainers in the room.
right. Well, I mean, that's what I did. Like depending on the day, we'll expand the class size.
Yeah.
If it reasonably can, you know, accommodate the space without compromising the experience, I'll, you know, increase the class size to 28 or maybe 30. Back in the old location, I used to go as high as 35, 40. I didn't give a fuck. But now, like, I start to, especially with COVID,
Yeah.
there
It's
were
not
restrictions on class size. And I found that stopping it at 24 actually works. I don't know how you get around that because you're going to piss a lot of people off. But how often do you go above, let's say 25? How often does that happen?
Probably like at least once a week. Probably like at least once a week. But that just shows like I need more class times because there's
Yeah.
more options for
So that's
people
not a problem. So what's the
right
problem
out.
with having more class times? Like you could, so then you could have, let's say it's happening at 5:30. Is it happening at 5:30 or is it happening at 9? It's happening more at 9, right?
What's oh yeah, 9 or 6:30 p.m. 5:30 never really fills up crazy like that.
Okay, then if it's happening for 6:30 p.m., that's a pretty good reason for you to either have a 4 o'clock class or a 5 o'clock class. You definitely got to have something in the 4 o'clock hour or 5 o'clock hour. You know, you never know. Like it might be more convenient for some people, and you have enough of a pool of people that they can invite their friends.
Yeah, and I totally feel like I'm not maximizing all the hours that I could be running classes and like maximizing profits or just having enough availability for all the people in the town.
Right.
And seeing yours where you're like, you got 8 sessions. I'm like, dude, I need to step it up. What am I doing? I've been doing 3 classes for 5 years. I'm lucky I'm making 100 grand right now. You know what I
Right.
mean? Or you know what I mean? Like
Well,
if I
you
had
could be
more
making
classes, I'd
so
probably be
much more.
yeah. But I'm a
Over.
fear-based dude where I'm like, you know,
You're a what? I missed what you said.
like I'm a fear-based dude where I was like, well, if I have another trainer do it, maybe they're not going to like them because they only like me and that's the only reason. But then now that I've realized they really like the other trainer, especially when they start with them and they
Yeah.
build that relationship where they feel like Nicole is my coach versus like Nicole's like filling in for the day or she's a
Yeah.
substitute. Like they love her so much. And I'm like, this is great. Now we got 2 awesome trainers. And if I can start adding more classes, that'll be fucking awesome. My
And
biggest thing is
Nicole
I
wants
just
to
want to
do
make
it.
sure. What's that?
And she wants to do it.
She wants to do it. Yeah. Like she's approaching me and I'm just hesitant because I'm like, but is there going to be enough people? Am I going to be able to pay you and still make a profit? But I'm viewing it wrong, right?
Yeah, you got to take a chance. Unless your margins are razor thin. No, you're thinking about making that's the problem with I think people in your position. You're thinking about making a profit on the micro level or losing on the micro level. Like, oh, I am for now, like it's not immediately going to even out if I have somebody running classes for XYZ time. But over an extended period of time, like if I stick with it long enough, and I believe that Nicole is that good.
You're 100% right, man. Yeah. I'm thinking too short-sighted for
Yeah,
sure.
you're acting like adding another class is going to send you into the poorhouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It's ridiculous.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
I need to give you a lot of shit on a lot of things. Talk to me about your client acquisition process. Where do you get most of your members?
Social media or referrals?
Which social media? Where?
Mostly Facebook, Instagram, not so much. It's still mainly Facebook.
Okay. So, okay, they through your business
Market
page or through your personal page?
personal page.
I don't think anybody is going out of their way to search Darian Tremonk. Like, I don't really think that you're getting, I don't think that, I know that you're not optimized at all. Like, everything that you're doing is off of referrals. And I don't think you have enough of a web presence. Like, you need to get the website fixed pronto.
Yeah. So the whole thing about the website, I don't something happened with Vimeo where a bunch of my videos just kind of
Yeah,
disappeared out of thin air. And
right.
then you were pretty busy, so I wasn't sure if you were still updating people's websites, but I still got like the old address on there. People are like, I pulled up to the church. You're not here. And I'm like, sorry, man, that was like 3 years ago. I just
Yo,
haven't updated it.
your fear-based operations, it's costing you so much money, it's making me sick.
You're right, man. You're
Hey,
right.
Jonathan, it's an emergency. My site looks like shit. My business is gonna go down under. Like, if I had the wrong address on my website and non-working videos, I can't
I
even
know.
imagine how much money you could have made
Dude, I know, but back in the day, we used to be able to just post on the Fit Boss page and be like, "Hey, Jonathan, something's up with my website," and like the same day you'd hit us back, and then like everyone kind of left the page. You didn't really see the messages for a while, and I was like, "He's busy. I'm just
But
not
you
going to
have
bother
my
him."
personal messenger on Facebook.
I
You think
know, but yeah,
this is an emergency? All right, whatever. The point is,
website will yeah,
okay,
website will get that fixed. I used to get a lot of leads, man, from Facebook marketing. Like I got money to like put into Facebook marketing, but it changed when they switched over to Meta.
I
And
don't I don't mess with Facebook market. Like I don't mess with Facebook ads manager. Okay, we need to
it
stop.
worked a lot for you
Okay,
guys.
we need to stop for
Yeah.
1 second because
Okay.
before you dump money into advertising, because right now, like consider for where you are, I
Mhm.
would say that advertising is probably it's you don't need to worry about it right now.
Okay.
My question is, how much do you spend on technological operations? Like, is there some kind of like do you have a CRM that you use? Like, do you have an app that you use? How do you keep everything organized? Do you offer contracts through something like what did I use? I used to use DocuSign and then I use Sign Easy. Like,
Adobe Fill and Sign.
yeah, how many how much money are you spending on stuff like that a month?
Probably
Are
zero, man.
you
Probably zero.
really?
Probably zero, man. Okay, so check it out. So I looked up like a Bedros cooling video, and he was like, "Get Scipio." I tried the Scipio thing, and then people were like, "You're like, this is a mass text thing," and I kind of got away from it. Organization, man, is not my strong suit. I am terrible at organization. I know you are the organization dude. You are my role model with that. But yeah, dude, like all acquisition wise, I have on my laptop, like right now, I have my EFT form, my waivers, COVID waivers, all that stuff from
From the
the
dumbbells to
initial.
dollars course? Like,
Yeah,
okay,
I
here's the
have
thing. Like,
that. And then I just email it to them. They sign it through Adobe Fill and Sign or DocuSign, return it back to me, and then I just always go back to the email to check it if I need to.
I guess you could do it that way. I mean, it takes a lot more time. It's much cheaper. Like I spend between push press, I probably spend like push press is like a better form of in body. You know what? A mind body. You know what mind
Mind
body
bar,
is?
sorta, yeah, yeah. I remember back in the day, or my trainer person used to use it.
Yeah, they have the app and then they have the connect thing, and then so mind body is like $700 a month, $600 a month. I
Yeah,
roughly spend that. Um,
I also have Squarespace, like the appointment scheduler, but I mean, it's like nine
for what
dollars.
for what kind of appointments are you scheduling?
So with all of our clients, I try to do like a monthly, like a video consultation where we just go over
Every
their
single one?
macros. Yeah.
How many clients do you have?
Um, like a hundred,
Around.
like 112, something like that,
Okay.
I think.
And you do a video for all of them every month? Or at least you make it available to all of them. Obviously, they're not going to take advantage of it.
Exactly. So I make it available, maybe half or even less actually take advantage of it, but they can go to my calendar, find a day that they want, a time they want, and then I get on video like this and we just chop it up and go over how they're doing, their nutrition, things like that.
Do you remember when I was talking about how I had regrets with the dumbbells to dollars course because I was giving so much for so little?
Yeah, man.
You are giving way too much for $200 a month. There is no way that yeah, and it's going to be impossible to scale because if you get to okay, you have 112 with 3 classes. Let's say you get to 6. It's not beyond the realm of possibility that you're going to get to 175, 180, 190.
For sure.
You would never be able to keep that up. You would have
Yeah,
to charge for that.
you're right.
Have to
Yeah.
charge for that.
Yeah.
So I completely understand where you are because when I was in year 5, year 6, I was still checking people's MyFitnessPal for free. You know what I mean? Anybody that wanted to send me the journal, I would check the journals. So I get it. But now that you're in business and your main goal is scaling, you have to operate the way big businesses do
Mm.
if you want to make big business money. So I think it's a great thing that you go out of your way to provide high level service for your members and make sure that that $200 they feel good about spending. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, I don't think that, I think that that is something that you should keep your, keep for your existing members, all right? But if you start to roll out new classes, that is something that is an add-on on top of the 197.
I saw that in your thing. You're like workouts and then nutrition is extra. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I've just been including it as a free thing
I
because
did the
because
same
I'm
thing.
not charging like 120 like some boot camps. I figured if I'm charging 200, they're gonna expect I'm doing nutrition too,
It's relative
right?
to your area. Like, I don't know what's around you, but if the quality and the experience is clearly that much better,
Yeah.
then you shouldn't feel bad about charging 200.
Mhm.
If you're that much better, now you have to look in the mirror and go like, okay, am I really doing my best? And I think that you are. Like, nobody's spending that much extra time on each individual member. Those 112 boot camps, they can't be. There's no way. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, as you get more people in, this is stuff that you can get on, this is stuff that you get extra. Nutrition is separate. And there's going to be a little bit of there's going to be pushback for a while. Whenever you make changes, because they're
Yeah.
going to say, well, why does Mary get training plus nutrition for the $200 and
200.
I got to pay an extra whatever per month? That's a legacy
Grandfathered
rate.
in.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you got grandfathered in. It's not something that we can sustain over, with the growth of our classes. And you can hang your hat and say, if you don't like it, find somebody else that's going to do it. There
Mhm.
are personal trainers, one-on-one, $50 an hour, that will not get on the phone with you once a month.
I know. I know.
Personal.
Yeah.
So
And
because
some won't even do nutrition. You know what I mean? They're just like
they're
go
like,
to
no,
buy
no, no, no,
weight.
this is good to do nutrition. So like you've got to recognize where you are, and you have to be willing to say, this is what the market. You have to know what the market is. This is what the market is for what you're asking for.
Yeah.
So if that's what you want, that's what you got to pay for. Now they were here with me back when I was
On the come
just
up.
starting. They get the benefit of me learning, and that's part of what it is. In the beginning, I'm actually going to make a short about this in a little bit, but like in the way that I sell now, you would think that I don't even care. I mean, like, oh, you want to join? Great. Not, I don't care. But in the beginning, like, because I was so hungry and because I was starting from zero and I needed to get the ball rolling and established,
Yeah.
I gave my everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's why in the beginning it makes sense that you're going to be giving them nutrition for free, giving them follow-ups because you can't afford to lose people. But now that
Right.
you have a system and you have momentum and you have social proof,
Mhm.
I think it's going to be a lot easier for you. Um, there is
I
a
like
lot. There's a lot to cover, but the number one thing is going to be getting your website back in order. Why don't you just now? Here's the thing: I built your site, right?
that. Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I built my own site, and during the COVID and shortly after, I was like, I'm growing. I need to level up. So everybody, it's to your benefit to realize when you're maxed out on your talent. And everything that I did at the time was good enough for where I was. I would suggest going to Wix. Give Wix a shot. Hold on, let me go to my screen share. Um, because compared to where you are now, even a Wix site is going to be a good investment. Because their templates are clean, and it's really just going to be an effort to. Nobody's going to go to your site outside of discovery. You know what I mean? They're just going there to figure out who you are. But and on down to Wix. You know what I mean? I was looking at some of their templates, and I don't know if I could find it right now, but you should check them out. And then you should go over to their templates for like gyms and personal trainers. There we
Yeah.
go. You're gonna find something that's gonna be great for you that will really paint your gym in the best light possible. Because right now, your website as is not giving them a clear idea of how professional you are. You know what I
That's
mean?
true. Yeah, it's old, it's outdated, it's from like a
Yeah.
different gym.
Yeah. Gym. Just type in gym. So you can go the Wix route. Now I use Push Press. I think they do a fantastic job in terms of how they build a website, but I'm spending like $600 a month. Maybe once you get to the point where you have all those classes and you have the disposable income, we're spending $600 to $1,000 a month just on like a CRM is
Yeah.
it's not going to like affect you. For now, this fitness studio one, this fitness studio one, it would be so much better than what you have. All right.
Huh.
So you got to get that fixed pronto. All right. The next thing is if I go to Google, right? And then if I go to DFF Bootcamp, if I learn to spell, how do you only have 3 Google reviews? How?
Dude, I had so many more than that, and for some reason they got like hidden or something like that.
Are you still at 20 North 2nd Street?
Hell no, that was a long time ago.
When was the last time you went to business.google.com and then managed this?
I don't even remember when I even set that up. I think it might have been year one. I don't even remember how to do it again. I gotta like go back in the Dumbbells to Dollars course.
Yes. Look at this is location 1.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the first one, man, before the church.
Look at this.
Dude,
this
on Google,
baby Darian. This is unacceptable for a business owner. If your Google presence was better and your website was optimized, your door would be like, you'd be turning. Think of how much more. Where do you think people find if they're finding you on Facebook on your personal profile? That's all referral. That's all of you. Like, obviously, you were taking advantage of the strategies that we had. 21 days for $21. Send it to all the members. Have them share. Give them prizes. That's great. But it's even better when people just call you because they were randomly looking for personal training, and your name was the first thing that popped up.
Yeah.
That other woman, I don't know if she's still in business.
I don't even think so. I think she just does it for like one person or something.
They all fall to the wayside. That's why I said when she came around, I was like, don't even worry about it. She's not going to last.
Yeah. I was so stressed. Remember that? I was like, man, this is terrible.
Competition. I've never, especially for like a one person, like get to year 5 and then talk to me. You know
right.
I mean?
Exactly.
It's always cool in the beginning when like you're making money because you're new. No, most people don't have the endurance for that.
Yeah.
So what you got to do is you got to go to business.google.com. You got to log in. Yeah, you got to log in with your Gmail account and then update everything. Find all of your pictures, upload all of them. You know, update your your address. Update. I don't care what you can go straight over to my business listing because we essentially offer the same thing. You can copy my description word for word. I could care less. All right.
Okay.
And then you get to your people and you say, hey guys, there are 100 of you. I need more. I need more reviews.
Yeah. You know, but it's crazy. Like I did that for Yelp because I asked people, hey, you know, if you've had a good experience over the years, and they just hit them all like they were paid off. I was like, I didn't pay them off.
No, I think you're confusing Yelp with Google.
Like, yeah, it all kind of meshes in.
No, me. Yelp is very. I don't even mess with Yelp anymore. Like I don't even touch Yelp. Google is where people go. Yelp is where people go for restaurants, if they even still go there. Still go there. You know what I mean? So yeah, check it out. You know, go in there, like rip everything off if you want. Just make sure that you have everything up to date. All right.
Yeah.
Because you're missing
the website, Google. Yeah, because on Facebook, so I post on my personal, I post sometimes on the business, but the big one for in our community is there's the Rio Vista Community Bulletin and Delta News. They're like 2 groups that have everybody and their mamas in town. So
on Facebook, you mean?
On Facebook. So on Wednesdays and Saturdays, businesses are allowed to post on there, and it just shoots out to, you know, all 3,000 people in the community. So I'll post stuff on there on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And then on Nextdoor, which is where, you know, a lot of the older folks who aren't on Facebook, I'll post on there. And I get a lot of people from there. What's that?
Talk to me about Nextdoor.
So Nextdoor, it's an app. It's kind of like not Groupon. It's kind of like Facebook, but it's for people that aren't really on Facebook. It's more of like the older community, like age 40 and up. But we have a whole retirement community, and all of them aren't on Facebook. They didn't even know I existed for a long period of time. I started posting on there, and I got so many like seniors or people that were like 50, 49 that were
senior. I get so many people that are 50 and 49.
But like I gotta, we have the senior community that's like 55 and up, but I got a whole bunch of them because they're not on Facebook, they're on the next door.
Right. Okay.
So those
Well,
are the two
here's the
spots
thing.
I post.
You got that. Luckily, you have mastered that. You are good at going to get people on Facebook. But if you optimize the other stuff, you're going to improve your chances of people just coming to you, just cold
Okay.
calling.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
So the thing is, you want to be good at as many things as possible. You want to open up as many streams for
You're right.
acquisition as you can. And this is
Yeah.
the lowest hanging fruit. You know what I mean? Because everybody's on Google. There are people that have never heard of it. And I'll check out next door myself. And by the way, when we make sure to post more on Skool, because that next door advice could have been helpful for other people. I mean,
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't too sure what the Skool thing was, but I'll get in there and figure out what it's all about.
yeah, it's really just a community of trainers. It's just that it's going to be in a confined space. All right.
Okay.
And now I can put the Dumbbell Dollars course up on that. All right.
Okay.
For instance,
Is it an app? Like, do you download the Skool app, or do I have to access it through the Facebook page?
oh no. You download the Skool app as
Gotcha.
well. All
Okay.
right. So like, where is my Skool? So if I go, we didn't plan this, but it's a great plug into what we offer. All right. So it's a paid
Yeah.
private
Yeah.
group. And now I feel more
Oh,
inclined
nice.
to participate more often. And so it's all personal trainers and fitness professionals that want to be successful. All right.
That's all.
And then essentially the way that it works, the more you contribute, the more points you get. All right. And then the way
Nice.
that I'm going to run my program is that instead of charging people like $200 for a consultation, the number one person just for posting, sharing ideas. And
I love that.
yeah, we're going to be sharing recipes. We're going to be sharing workouts. And then the Dumbbell Dollars course, which I'm now going to call the Fit Boss Handbook, is going to be up here as well. All right. So
Nice.
now you can just learn. And instead of just taking it on your own and then learning and then never getting a chance, the course is there. And then if you have a question on any kind of lecture, we all can jump in and we can all talk about it.
That's awesome. So I could go on there and like post like marketing tips or something I've learned along the way about like the Next Door app. Like, hey,
Yeah.
if anybody wants to know, this is something that's helped me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's
And
solid.
yeah, the thing is, I'm probably
I
going to
love
kick
that.
out people that don't contribute because it's going to be based. I don't want it to just be, okay, this is Jonathan just giving advice because people have things that I might not know. Like, I think I know a lot more. Like, I might be way further along, but that doesn't mean that you haven't picked up tidbits here and there that we can all,
Right.
you know what I mean? The
Yeah.
only rule is that if you post, you have to include a GIF in all your posts.
Okay.
That's
All
my
right.
personal rule. If you don't, I won't even read your message.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So the Skool app is that's where when we finish rolling out the Dumbbell Styles course, where everybody's going to go. And then any kind of question you get, everybody's going to see. And I'm really working on building the community to force people to communicate more. So you're on there, Fitness Lorenzo, the guy out in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah.
He's there. I might invite Kayla Schumann. She has BB Fit out in California. I'll see what
Okay.
she's up to. But it's just going to be a great way for us to all, and Samantha's there.
Guzzo,
Their ideas. Tyler's already on it. So
nice. I missed the squad, man. That was the best.
did you get my email 2 days ago?
I haven't checked my email, but I will.
Okay, yeah, it's this one. Because I was like, yo, you guys better start texting or you guys better start posting. So
Yeah. I wasn't sure what it was. I just saw the thing where you're like, dude, sign up for this. It's gonna be awesome. So I was like eating breakfast. So I was like just punching my info in, getting signed up real quick. I'm like, damn, there's already 5 people.
Okay, I have to educate more, but it's so far working out really well. We're able to answer a lot of questions. People are able to let me know what kind of content they need. Like I didn't realize so many people were struggling with posting on social media and what to post and how to get like good reactions. So after I'm done with the nutrition course, it's going to be straight up web presence, and a lot of it is going to be also making sure that your website is optimized.
Yeah, unlike me.
Yeah, I mean, but it's good to. Listen, if we didn't talk about it, you wouldn't know about it.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't have known because I'd have been like, I don't really.
Yeah,
I mean, like, I still get inquiries from the website too. I still get maybe like 4 or 5 a month from the website. They're probably just so confused. They're like, I don't know where I'm at. It's a video that doesn't play.
Yeah. Imagine how, like we're in a different age. There's so much competition for gyms. Like then imagine how many people stumbled across it, and because the video didn't play, they just walked away.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, so we got
A
you
lot
got
of
to get
people
them
who just
all
turned
back.
away.
You got to get them all back. That 112 can be 200 by the end of the year, easy. And then you won't even been
That's the
thinking about
goal.
that extra 450 a month that you're paying in Cole.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the goal. Jonathan, I had a quick question. I noticed you do like weekly payments and bi-weekly pay. I saw that and I was like, huh, I never thought of that. I've always been like, it's $200 a month or you can sign up for a year.
There's
But I saw you did that and I'm like, is that helpful for people? Do a lot of people like bite on that?
some
Because
people ain't got it for $200 a month. You know what I mean? Like, I opened up a whole suite of pricing options, one of which was offering a 3 day a week package, as opposed to
yeah,
my limited, because
yeah, I'm looking at it.
people want to stay, but they really can't do the 200, so they can do the 150. And I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
No sweat off my back. It actually, I wish more people would do 3 times a week because I would make so much more money. I'd be able to, because I have a cap on class size. I'd be able
Yeah.
to accommodate so many more people. All right, they're paying 75% to attend half the time. I'm winning on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
that no, that's true. So how many classes do you have, or how many days a week are you doing boot camps? Is it Monday through Saturday?
yeah,
So you do Wednesdays and a weekend day too?
yeah. I always did Monday through Friday.
That's crazy. So wait, so are you still actually running boot camps, or is it fully just trainers now?
I haven't taught a class since like 2022.
So you're a boss, bro. Fucking straight goals right there. I love that.
You can absolutely do that. You can
That's what I'm
absolutely.
trying to get to, man. I'm trying to just get a bomb ass squad because I like teaching too. Like I want to like help trainers get better and like help them with the overall mission and be able to kind of quarterback things how you are.
Right.
I love that side of it. And that's what I want to more transition to instead of just always being the guy who's always training, because I'm
You
sure
put in your
after
work. You put it
what's
like you fine tune that system to the way
yeah,
that you like it. It's time to be able to take yourself out of it because the one thing that I will tell you, once I was able to take myself out of it because I was so into making sure it ran that
right.
I didn't think about a different way to look at it. The workouts got way better once I didn't have to run them and I could just watch and go like, oh, well, I could do that differently, or I could do that differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or your trainer's going to have ideas, and you're going to be like, "Wow, I never thought of it that way." You
Oh
know?
yeah. My trainers had so many ideas that I haven't even thought of. And I'm like,
Right.
I'm so glad you're part of the team because you added a different flavor to it and different thoughts. Like she's thought of things like a client appreciation outing or something. I'm like, I've never even thought about doing that. Like going out and doing something with all the clients or like doing a barbecue or something for them.
Never done that.
No, dude, I've just been like train, but I've never thought about like the
You could
community
be
aspect of
making
like getting people together.
you could be making so much more. Like you are literally okay. You're doing like one thing really, really, really well, which is the training, and that's what a lot of trainers do. But there are so many other things that you could be doing that can grow the community.
Yeah, like the team bonding stuff.
Oh my God, and increase retention, and then
Yes,
just
exactly. Because they feel like they're part of the family. I'm like, I never thought about that until she brought it up. Like, hey, I think they would really like that. Or even like she brought up like if they held a sign, if they lost 10 pounds and took a picture and it had the DFF
you
boot
do all
camp.
that stuff. You
I'm
can do
like,
all
I've never
that.
even thought of that.
You
That's
just keep
crazy.
working them. Your only concern is always the workouts.
Yeah,
Like the workouts are not it. The
it's not
workouts are what
everything,
keep
right?
you. You know. Have you read Gym Launch by Alex Hormozy?
Yeah. I've read the gym launch. I pretty much follow all the Alex Hormozy stuff. Like I watch all his stuff, like
Yeah,
how he talks about stuff.
yeah. He says it himself. We don't sell fitness. We sell accountability and
Mhm.
community. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And if you look at it through that frame, then you're gonna come up with more ideas. We do a social like if not every month, every other month, because it just helps with the retention, it helps
Yeah.
all the way around. You know,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start doing that too. So does the Saturday boot camp, is that pretty popular for you? Like a weekend day?
popular enough, like it'll fill up, like it'll be about 75% full across the 3 classes. It's only mornings. And
Got you. So when you do the 3 day a week package, they're doing 3 days versus they could do 6 days if
yeah,
they paid full. Okay, so it's basically half. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, because I brought that up to so how do you remember to charge these people? Because bro, I had one lady who was like like I can't pay the $200 all at once, but if I could pay weekly for 4 weeks, I just forgot to charge her. I just charged the first 50 and then just forgot to charge the other weeks because I usually just do billing one day, like the first of every month for
Wait, what do
everybody.
you build them on? What are you building them on?
Square by hand manually. I do like so I have an Excel spreadsheet with everyone's card info, and I just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste for 100 and something people, bro. It's the worst part of the day because it takes hours. I'm like, how do you make this faster? Where it just charges people on a certain day, you know? I hate doing billing, man. I complain to my girl every time. I'm like, I gotta sit
Stop,
down and
stop,
get money
stop,
now.
stop, stop, stop. Square doesn't have subscription billing.
I don't know. I always just click the manual entry button. I think they might because back in the day it was Stripe, right? You guys use Stripe?
Yeah, I use Stripe. I think Stripe is better than Square personally.
Really?
Yeah,
I need
but
to get
Square doesn't. Square might charge you a little bit more for subscription billing, but the amount of time that you're going to save by not having to enter, I would. You're the way that you're doing it. It's impossible to scale. What if you have 200 members? You're going to lose money every month because you're going to forget.
Yeah, and I forget a lot, dude. I get like because there's so many people now, I'll start forgetting things and like people won't get charged sometimes. And it's all organization. Like that's what I really need to level up on, the organization part of it. And having other trainers
Look,
helps with that
look,
because they're really good with it, you know?
That's it. That's it. Like you set them. You get charged every 13th of the month, whatever the case is, and then it goes to your bank account. Why aren't you doing it?
Dude, I completely spaced on that until oh wait, this is Square?
This
Not
is Square. This is not even Stripe.
what's the difference in the rate? Like, do they kind of take out the same amount of money either way?
Same. It's about the same. I stick with Stripe mainly because with Stripe, I'm gonna be able to and you'd be able to too. After you stat, I don't know if Square does it, like Square Lending. If I wanted to take out a loan on my accounts receivable, then Stripe will let me do it based on my average monthly revenue. So like,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
Square does that too, where they'll give me like a offer me like $15,000 loan, $20,000 loan, and then they just take it out of your transactions.
All right. So then essentially they're about the same. The only problem is you
Okay.
honestly, most companies are using Stripe more so than Square. Most companies like this, like a gym, would use Stripe than Square. Square, I see
Right.
mainly with like either professional services, like like a plumber or something like that, or a
Sure.
restaurant. But
Yeah.
gyms and such, I think they use Stripe. They might be a little bit cheaper. Stripe is 2.9 plus 30 cents per transaction. Give me 1 second. Let me
Yeah.
pull up the Stripe rate.
I'm gonna run to the restroom real fast. I'll be right back, okay?
All right, so for anybody that is watching, the Stripe costs the exact same, 2.9%. They're because they're basically in competition with each other, so they're not going to outdo each other. They're going to charge the same. So whether you're using Stripe, whether you're using Square, doesn't make a difference. I think if you're going to deal with a CRM like a push press, like a mind body, they are both of them require that you use Stripe more than Square, which is why I'm going to tell Darian that he should. I mean, uh, since he only has 100, and not that 100 is a low number, but since it's not too hard yet, I'd move over to Square personally, and then you can set up their auto billing, and then you'll never have to do that again. So here's the deal. I think we should wrap this up because we're at about an hour. I'm not sure how much people are going to be able to digest in terms of like content. Also,
Yeah.
you have a
Yeah.
lot of homework to do. All right. Do you have
Yes.
something to write on?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you gotta, number one, you gotta put out feelers for the idea of a 5 a.m., 6:15 in July. All right.
Okay.
Number two, actually, it's more important that you put feelers for 4:15 or 5:30 starting in September. I said July, but I meant September. So feelers for an extra morning class and moving 5 a.m. earlier. A much more realistic option is adding a 5:30 or a 4:15. If Nicole has no problem, just doing, you just see where more the demand is. I would personally, if you're scared with pricing, then you just choose one and work your way backwards. If people are coming to 6:30, then I think you should go 5:30 first, and then once you have increased revenue on 5:30, then you can add the 4:15. Okay, so
Okay.
keep list for that.
So do one class at a time instead of like two or three?
If you don't want to spend all that, it makes more sense to add a class that's closer to your class that's already full. And if your
Okay.
6:30 is full, then your 5:30 will probably have an easier time. All right.
Okay.
Unless people are specifically saying we want 4:15, then just do the 4:15.
Okay. Okay.
So that's number one in terms of adding class time. Number two, get on Wix. All right.
Yep.
And then
Wrote that
move your
down.
site over immediately. You should get that done. I would cancel it doesn't take a long time to create a Wix site. I would literally advise you to try to get that done by Monday. You know what I mean?
Real quick. So for the Wix site, is it like you hire someone that does it or you do it by yourself? They just give you a template.
You do it by yourself. You get a template,
Okay.
and if you find that it's really not working for you, then you hire someone.
Got you. Okay. I see. I see.
Yeah.
I have two quick questions for you. Before we get out of here, if there's still time.
Go. Oh, okay. Number three, go to business.google.com, log in with your dffbootcamp@gmail.com, update your information, add pictures, add video of your new location.
Yes.
All right. Number
Yes.
four, look up Square, Square subscription billing. All right.
Okay.
And then move all of your clients over to that. All right. And that's all for now.
Okay.
That's enough.
Okay. I'll get on that.
And then talk to Nicole about when she would like to do, what her schedule is like.
Okay. And then in terms of the pricing of like how much I'm paying my trainer, like 450, you think is a good number?
I think it'd be easier so you're already paying for that, right?
Yeah. For the one class time.
Yeah. So just do the math. It's 450. You're teaching about 20 classes. No. Why? It's 20 weekdays in a month. No, it's four. How many days a week do you have?
4 days, 4 days a week.
Okay.
So
4.3.
16 to 20,
Okay,
depending
so
on the month.
she's teaching about, on average, 17 classes a month. All right,
Okay.
450 divided by 17, you're actually paying her more than 22. You're paying her about 26. All right, so you can say I did the math, okay? You're doing about 17 classes a month. We're paying you 450, so that's averaging you at a $26. How are you paying her?
I just give her cash.
You're giving her,
Or Venmo. I'll just like Venmo it to her.
do you know that means you're paying taxes on that?
I have no clue how that stuff works. I need to learn. I don't know where to learn it. Like how to like get the benefit of like having an employee. Yes. It's been a long time since we talked, man. I know you know these things, but I know you're a busy man. It's hard to get a hold of you these days.
I get it. We're gonna have to talk about that.
Yeah. Because I'm definitely missing
Yeah.
out a lot, probably.
Oh God, you're basically you're not even paying her $26 an hour. You're paying her because she's not even getting deducted on that, and you're paying maybe 25% taxes on that if you're lucky. So times 1.2. So you're paying her 26.47 times 1.25. You're really paying her $33 an hour. You're paying her more than I pay my trainers.
Shoo.
But the good news is now.
Yeah.
For the next trainer that you hire. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. That's going to be a whole different conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. What were your two questions?
Okay, so the two things. One of them was, do you meet with your team like once a week, or do you meet with them on a certain basis to just kind of like check in with them or to teach them stuff or to like go over things?
Yeah, I usually do a team meeting like once a month just to go over
Once a
logistical
month.
stuff, things that we're going to be focusing on, getting their input on what they're seeing, and
Okay.
getting ideas for social. So once a month is good, but like you have a lot more time to meet with her. So like even doing a just a check-in at the end of her class once a week, like on a Friday or whatever. How did the
Okay.
week go? Do you have any feedback? Do you have any questions? That way, because the one thing I hate about the meetings, they got to pay separately for it. So it's an extra 9 hours on payroll that I'm paying just to do that. But it helps to keep everybody in order and to make sure nobody goes too far down the beaten path. So if you catch
Yeah.
her like toward the end of her class and you just have like a 5 minute check-in as she's leaving, then at least you can like get her sharp. Because when I first hired my Nicole, we used to meet every week.
Mm-hmm.
Me, Nicole, and Stephanie, we used to have meetings every week until I felt like they were super, super sharp. So
Okay.
you're a little past that point because she's been training for you for a while, but at least once a month, it would be a good idea.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I started meeting with them and started because like sometimes we'll go like a month or two. We haven't really sat down. It's just kind of like she's running her class, I'm doing mine. We'll ask questions, but I want to like check in and see how she's doing, how things are going with her clients. Second thing, do you have your trainers? Um, do your trainers do the nutrition for the clients, or do you do the nutrition for the clients?
I do the nutrition for now because
For
you,
everybody, for the
yeah,
clients. Okay,
well,
cool.
for everybody who's paying me, because you do it for everybody
Yeah,
who's paying,
yeah, you're
right?
right. Yeah.
You're gonna eventually like turn them over. And if you find a more in-depth way to offer nutrition, then even your OGs can pay a premium for nutrition coaching. That's a bridge you're gonna have to cross later. But I'm only doing it until I find somebody that wants to do it consistently, and until I have it completely systemized.
Okay.
So they know. So there's no debate. Like we like either one of us can jump in and out on any one person and we're on the same page because this is how we coach nutrition and you can actually systemize it.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to start doing because it's like I'm doing all the nutrition. And I'm like, it'd be nice to have a trainer or someone else that helps out with that part because it can be pretty exhausting. I deal with it every day.
Right.
Last thing, the in-body scanner.
Yeah.
What is the deal with that? Is it like the game changer? It's like pretty
I love
awesome or
it.
what?
I love it. I mean, well, if you want to start charging for something, I would get the in-body scan
Okay.
because I can very easily charge them $30 to get on the scan and then the consultation is like a half hour. That's standard. You can't get on the scale unless you're paying me. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And the one thing I did is when I first purchased it, I didn't even call it the in-body scale. I called it the $14,000 in-body scale because that's how much it's going to cost.
Yeah.
It was to drive the point that this is an expensive piece of equipment. And I have a doctor scale in my bathroom, all right, that they can get on anytime. So it's
Right.
creating a separation of value. All right. So
Sure. Sure.
everybody called it the $14,000 scale for like 2 months. So when I said, hey, it's going to charge you, I'm going to charge you $30 to get on it, they were like, I understand. You know what I mean? And all the other gyms, it helps know the market. Gyms generally charge like $45, like the signature, about a half mile. They have one. They'll charge you $45. Stephanie, one of my coaches, she also is a sign language interpreter, so she'll do like cruises and things like that. And if the cruise has an in-body scale, they'll charge them like $60 to get on. So I'm like, yo, this is a steal to get a scan
Yeah.
for $30. And normally they don't even speak to you. So when you know the market, you can kind of like say, that's why I'm paying so much.
Got it. Yeah, I'm definitely going to look into that because I've just been doing the handheld thing forever, and the Fit Pro calculator back when it was alive.
Yeah.
But the InBody thing, that thing sounds dope because it gives like a whole report, kind of like a DEXA scan, right? Like
Yeah.
fat mass, all that.
And you're going to finance it. It charges me like $240 a month. So it's not going to kill you at all. You can make that money back if you do 8 scans a month. So
Sure.
okay, no brainer. If they were asking for 14,000 up front, I probably still wouldn't have, but they
Right.
probably wouldn't sell any. So, yeah, like the FitPro calculator, it's back now. But since for where you are, if you can get the in-body scan, I would get it. That would be my next brain investment in my gym.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is awesome, man. I'm excited to start contributing to the school. So for the school, so the top contributors can get like a consultation.
Top contributor every month will
Oh, I'm
get
on it.
a consultation just like this, but you can't win 2 months in a row because like
I got you. Yeah, yeah, you got to spread it out.
so all and you only get points by liking, replying, contributing. You do that, and then yeah, I'll be happy to meet with somebody that well. I'm happy to talk to with people that are engaged anyway. Like people that don't care, I don't want to talk to them. But like if you
Yeah.
care and you're showing you have stuff to talk about, it's good for me.
Hell
And I'm
yeah,
doing content for YouTube. I hope the people that are watching this like actually saw that I have a brain, you know.
man.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
yeah,
you're one of the sharpest dudes, man, for sure.
it'll work. It'll work on a number of different levels.
Awesome, man.
All right,
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
dude.
Whole lot of good stuff in
Make
here.
sure you go on Skool and let us update us. Like you can actually make a video and then make a video and contribute that and go like, hey Jonathan, I know you had the 5 points. This is what I did. If you have any questions, like, and then if you have questions, I can answer it directly on Skool.
Dope. Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good, man.
Sir, it's been a pleasure. I'm glad to speak to you.
My
All right.
dog. Appreciate you, man.
Dude, you will absolutely. I can't see how you don't increase your revenue low end by 25%. I'm not even talking profits. You could probably increase your profits by 25% if you get all that stuff right by the end of the year.
Oh, absolutely. You know me. I take your advice. I get right on it.
Yeah,
I put it into action right away.
cool. Well, keep me posted.
Yes, sir.
Great talking to you. We'll talk again soon.
All right, man. Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. I'll see you later.
Bye.